Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube! My name is SeaRaptor, and it's time for more Scuttlebutt. Today's game in the background brought to you by Tier 9 Premium German Cruiser Ägir, however the hell you say it. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. This ship is essentially the reincarnation of Siegfried. If you remember later last year, we were testing a German battlecruiser named Siegfried. This is the same hull as Siegfried, only now she has a completely new main battery and a better mix of secondary battery guns. These main battery guns are the same as those you find on Tier 8 Premium Battleship Odin. These are 3 triple turrets of 305mm each, only now I get cruiser dispersion on these 12-inch shells. Secondary battery is comprised of 9 double-barreled 128mm turrets, just like the ones that you find mounted on a lot of German destroyers. Now, at the moment, those secondary turrets are solid, if not super remarkable in terms of the damage they put out. However, the upcoming IFHE changes, and we'll talk more about that later, is going to buff the penetration on those 128mm shells to about 32mm of penetration, and that's going to make them a lot more deadly and a lot more threatening to a bigger range of targets. Ägir is really something new. She is a cruiser with a viable secondary build. I have her built here for secondaries with advanced firing training and secondary battery modification 1. When you add the Mikey Yank Soxa 6 flag to that, Ägir's secondary range is 11.5 kilometers, which is ridiculous for a cruiser. For this test game, I've also got the new Auxiliary Armaments Modification 2 equipped in slot 6 that buffs her anti-aircraft firepower across the board and speeds up her secondary reload times. There are no carriers in this game, but trust me when I tell you, I've played this configuration in other games. Her AA in this setup is quite strong between the extra flak burst, the improved flak you get out of the AFT, and then this particular module that just buffs her AA values by 15% straight up. The nice thing about retaining Siegfried's hull and armor layout is that Ägir is fairly tanky. She's got this 90mm upper belt that extends from her weather deck down to her main belt. That is better than the casemate armor on a lot of high-tier battleships, and it makes her fairly resilient to armor-piercing rounds when she's angled well or angled properly. The catch is that her deck armor remains still kind of not all that remarkable, so she's still fairly vulnerable to AP and HE plunging down on top of her at longer ranges. The armor scheme seems to kind of encourage you to get in close and get stuck in. It's a fun way to play, but keeping her alive once you do that is a challenge, and you're going to see that in the game that's playing right now. So far, I am really liking this ship. She is way, way better than Siegfried ever was, due entirely to the main battery change. The other perks, like the improved secondary battery and everything, is just kind of icing on the cake. What's going on in shooty boats? Well, got our regular shout out for the Anchors Away tour. That's right, Anchors Away 2020. The new tour kicks off in just a few weeks, 28 and 29 March, with the first stop at USS North Carolina down in Wilmington. Tickets are still available, so if you are local or planning on making the trip, go reserve a spot. Don't miss out your chance to go see this fabulous museum ship, meet wargaming staff, take home some free loot. They give out ridiculous amounts of free loot, certainly free ships and stuff, free premium ships all over these events. They are a ton of fun. Definitely go. Senior Community Manager Calvo, they posted in the forums just today, like literally just a few hours before I'm making this video, that they do intend to continue holding the tour schedule at the moment, despite concerns regarding the coronavirus pandemic, especially in spots where, like North Carolina, there aren't even reported cases, right? So I'm sure they're fairly unconcerned, but obviously they're keeping an eye on things and have advised everyone that if something changes and they do pull the plug on a future tour stop, that everybody will get their money back. You know, no big deal. Obviously, they're not going to keep your money if they cancel the tour stop. I'll put a link to that post down below. You can go see what he said for yourself, but bottom line is, they're aware, they're keeping an eye on it. Full schedule, of course, for the tour is posted. Go check that out, see if there's anything you can attend. And for those, before you ask, yes, my video celebrating the USS Kidd event is still in the works. I'm hoping to get it posted this week. It may be Monday. I might have to spend some time on it this weekend, but I'm making progress on it, but it's not done yet. Speaking of the NA community team, there is currently a job opening. That's right, Femininely, of course, just recently leaving the team. Her old job slot is up for grabs. So if you feel you have the qualifications and the passion and the drive and whatever skill set that they need to join the Wargaming North America community team, go check out the link below. and put in an application. I'll drop that link down in the video description, and hey, best of luck to you. I've already seen some folks on Twitter who have talked about applying, or that they were going to apply, and I wish everybody luck. Lord knows they need the help, just because there's a lot going on, and 2 people cannot cover it, so let's get a 3rd person in there and get that done. King of the Sea is returning. Day 1 of King of the Sea 10 is in less than 3 weeks. Sunday, the 22nd of March, will mark the Swiss stage opener here on North America. Sign-ups open today. If you and your friends want to put together a team, your clanmates, whatever, go to the link. They'll put the portal article down below. Definitely go sign up. Join us. The prize pools have all been announced, and those prize pools include the brand new King of the Sea camos as participation prizes, and those camos have got some pretty sweet bonuses. Slots on NA are capped at 64 teams, so don't dawdle. The later you sign up, the more likely you are to find yourself on a wait list. So if you want to play, like, get your team together, get you a roster together, go sign up. Don't wait. I'll put links to the portal article and the King of the Sea Discord down below. Now, I'm no longer on the admin team. I no longer have any say in how the tournament is run, but I'm still heavily involved in working on the streaming side of the things, how we present the tournament, trying to make sure that we've got people to stream the event and helping get that scheduled and stuff. So as we're getting video assets prepped and everything, I'm working on the map intro videos again. The good news here for me, for my time, Wargaming St. Pete offered to kind of take that over. I've still written the scripts. We're trimming them down. They were a little long last event. We realized with the new shorter load-in times, and especially with the spectator mode, you don't need a big long load-in time anymore. You don't need 90 seconds, 100 seconds. You need like a 60-second, 65-second video. So we're working on trimming those down. And so they've got me to rework the scripts and help them with the voiceovers. Now, the good news for you guys is that I'm only doing the voiceover for one of these videos. I've reached out to a variety of other CCs and online personalities across the globe to help me get this done. So you're likely to hear some familiar voices and not just me droning on every time a game launches. That's good. So you'll have to tune in to our broadcast in the future to find out who's chipped in this endeavor, but I think you'll be happy. Brief reminder, Update 9.1 is winding down. This is the last week you can be working on earning tokens to earn your unique British Commander, Andrew Cunningham. The last directive unlocked just a few days ago, this past Monday, so get cracking. If you're close, go finish that off and make sure that you can earn your Andrew Cunningham to be able to plug him into a big high-tier British battleship or carrier or something like that, because he's pretty sexy. Similar note, if you missed out on premium, or unique French commander, Philippe Abonnieu, he has been added to the armory in-game for coal. So if you missed the chance to earn him, what was it, late last summer, last fall, whenever he was available through the in-game directives and everything, he is now available for you to come back and grab him with coal, which is nice, and presumably they'll be doing the same thing with Cunningham in the future. Speaking of 9.1 winding down, a week from, I guess, yesterday, by the time you see this, the next Wednesday, the 11th of March, should be patch day here on NA. I may get another Scuttlebutt out in advance of that. I may not, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that, hey, patch week is next week, so if you've got something you want to get done, replay you want to record or whatever in 9.1, get it done. You're going to miss out if you don't. Let's take a look at dev blogs. It's been pretty quiet on the dev blog front of late. There was a post regarding some changes to ships and testing, mostly some minor tweaks to the European destroyers up and down the line. They've been kind of mucking around, kind of fine-tuning these guys in terms of reload speed, torpedo and main battery reload speeds. There have been some nerfs to the low-tier ones, some minor nerfs and tweaks to the high-tier ones. All in all, I feel like this line is honestly in pretty good shape. I've had some really good games with some of these ships. They are challenging ships to play, but I'm really, really enjoying them. They have made some changes, or there will be some forthcoming changes to the time in between plane attacks. Now, as I understand it, what they're doing is there's been a tactic that's been out there 6-8 months now. They call it a slingshot drop, right? Where a carrier player will, especially this is particularly devastating with AP dive bombers, like you find on Japanese carriers or USS Enterprise, where you do like a pre-drop, right? Because what happens is when the planes are recovering from a dropping their ordnance, they're basically immune to AA, or they take like significantly reduced damage. So the way this tactic is meant to work is you start a bomb run like well far out from your target, let's say 6 or in his long range aura, And as you come out of that drop, you're in his mid-range aura, and then so you're immune to the first few seconds of the AA in his mid-range aura, and then you immediately go right back into a drop and drop on his deck, right, with another drop. So it's kind of like a back-to-back quick drop to try and avoid some of that AA damage. They seem to be working to try and remove this tactic from the game. I won't pretend that I know how to do this. I've never messed with it. I've seen it done. I've watched videos on it. I've seen other people in game attempt it, but it doesn't seem super common. So I don't know. Obviously, it's prevalent enough that it's problematic enough. I feel like they need to get rid of it. But that seems to be where they're going with this change. Lastly, they announced a whole spate of changes, balance changes up and down the line. Just a few. I'll put the link down below. You can go read the full list for yourself. Some noteworthy things on this list. Both Tier 7 Russian battleship and Tier 10 Russian battleships. That's Sinop and Kremlin. They had their Sigma reduced. There were some minor nerfs to a few British destroyers, Valkyrie, Jutland, and Daring. They changed the reload speed of both the main battery and the torpedoes on all three of those ships. High-tier Pan-Asian destroyers, Xianyang, Chungmu, and Yu Yang all got some small buffs, which is nice. There was a small nerf to Hakuryu's rocket damage, which I think is welcome, and a very small buff to Gearing's top torpedo reload speed. The 16.5-kilometer ones now reload a little faster. When you read through this post, what you're left with the impression is that going forward, Wargaming is going to take a lot more smaller, baby step, incremental kinds of changes, rather than the full-on drop a nuke on it, it's the only way to be sure style of nerf like we've seen in the past, like Yu Yang got once upon a time, like Henri Catherine got more recently. And I think that's a good change. Sub-Octavian talked about this in his Q&A recently, and I'm glad to see them moving in this direction because, we don't have all the data they do, the numbers they see in the background, and so on and so forth. And so it's really frustrating to really fall in love with a ship, to really like a ship, to enjoy how a ship is configured, and then one day you come in and they've crushed it with the nerf hammer, and you can't. It's almost unplayable. And Yu Yang is the most easy example of this, but it's not the only ship that's ever happened to. And I'm glad they finally realized that that's not a great way to achieve balance. And so I think we're going to see some of these sledgehammer nerfs kind of walked backwards a little bit, and that's encouraging. Anyway, guys, that kind of wraps it up. Short video, not much news this week. Hope you enjoyed the game in Ägir. I'll be playing more of this ship on the stream. Come on by, say hi, let me know you want to see an Ägir game, and I'll have at least one more of these and some Odin games going up on the channel in the next couple of days. In the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll catch you next time.